Hi everyone, I'm Maggie Weldon from maggiescrochet.com, and in this video Christina is going to show you how to make this adorable little cross. This was done with sport weight cotton yarn, but you could also use like a worsted weight yarn, or even try it in a bulky weight yarn. You could use this, you could put a magnet on the back, use it for a fridgie, you could make it a little bit larger maybe for a bookmark and add a little ribbon to it, or you could use it as a lapel pin. Or an applique on something. It will look really pretty. This is one of maybe at least 8 Easter projects that we're doing, and I want you to subscribe to our channel so that you'll know as soon as we have new videos come out, and it really helps us out a lot if you like and share and comment on our videos. And I hope that you have a great happy Easter. Now we'll go to a close-up, and the links to everything will be listed below.
Hey everybody, it's Christina from maggiescrochet.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make this cute little Easter cross applique. It's really simple. I've got all my materials here. I've got 2 colors of yarn. Today I'm going to make the base of my cross out of the pink, and I'll make the little flower out of the white. You'll need a yarn needle to finish it off. We're using a size F5 crochet hook and some snippers, scissors, whatever you prefer to use. Alright, let's get started. Move everything we need out of the way. Now the first thing you need to do anytime you're starting a project, and I mention this because I always forget and then end up in trouble, is you want to make sure you get the right end of your yarn and make sure you pull out a good amount to start with. So I found the correct end of my yarn pulling out of the center of the skein. It's going to make things a lot easier later on. So now I can start and know that things will go smoothly. I'm going to start, as always, with my little slip knot. This is the Premier Yarn home cotton yarn, which you can find on maggiescrochet.com. And I'm going to do 15 chain stitches to start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. That one didn't want to go through. 9. There we go, 15 chain stitches. I'm going to skip the first one, single crochet into the second chain from my hook, and then continue with single crochets all the way across. So I should have 14 when I'm done. This is a good project if you're not used to working with a smaller hook, because it's very small and it'll be over quick, but it's great practice. And it makes such a cute little cross. You could, put this on your Bible cover. You could, put it on a ribbon, use it as a bookmark. Of course, you could applique it to something else. Lots of things you can do with this cute little design. And it's very quick. Alright, there's my last one. Let's just double check and make sure I got 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Excellent. Now I'm going to go ahead and finish this off and weave in my ends. Now this side that we just worked on, that is the right side, so keep that in mind. Snip right about there. Finish that off. Now I usually just use my hook to weave in my ends. You can certainly go ahead and get the yarn needle out. And I'm not going to do a super great job of this right now because I'm going to try to be quick for y'all. We'll just pull that through. Oh, just a couple of times. And we'll go ahead and pull through our starting tail as well. good enough for now. You'll probably want to take a little more time, but we're going to come back and edge around this later. So if you wanted to leave it to edge in when at that point, you certainly could as well. So that's my right side. So I'm going to take my hook, pick up the end of my yarn again, and we're going to join this together. So go ahead and make another slip knot on your hook. So your pattern says with right side facing, which we established is the side, join, well, it says W because it's thinking white, but we're going to join our pink with a slip stitch into the 7th single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we'll just insert through both loops, pull a loop through, and then pull it through your slip knot. Okay? We'll do a chain 1, single crochet into the same stitch that you joined into, so that was the 7th one, and then do a single crochet into the 8th stitch. So we've done a single crochet in the 2 middle stitches of our horizontal bar. Okay, that was row 1. We're going to chain, turn, and work in both each single crochet. Do another single crochet, 1, 2, that's row 2. We're going to do this until we get to row 5. So chain 1, turn, this is row 3. Chain 1, turn, this is row 4. Chain 1, turn, and this will be row 5. It'll be our last row. All right, and now we're gonna snip our yarn and finish it. This time I think I'm gonna leave the tail not woven in and show you how I will weave it in as I go around doing the edging. And you can certainly pick whichever way you're most comfortable with. Some people prefer to weave it in on their own. Some people prefer to work it in as they go around the edge. Either way works perfectly fine. So what you're looking at now, you have your base row that was 14 stitches. We'll have 6 stitches on this side. We put that into stitches 7 and 8, and then there's 6 more on that side. Now with the same right side forward, we're just going to turn it upside down and do the long vertical part, the bottom of the cross. So pick up your long strand of pink again, get your slip knot on your hook, Alright, and then when you pick this up, we're going to start in the 8th, well, the 7th chain from where we started, the 8th from this side. It's right underneath the 2nd single crochet that we did for the top of the vertical bar. So there's that, and we're just going to go straight down into here with a slip stitch. So one loop, pull it through, holding it a little too tight, there we go. Pull it through, and then pull it through the slip knot from the hook. All right, so again, chain 1, do a single crochet into that same spot where we joined, and then do a single crochet in the next foundation chain as well. You'll see here's the single crochet that we did for the top bar, and so this is just going to be directly below it. Okay, so we've got 2 single crochets. That was row 1. We'll chain 1, turn. This is row 2, and again we're just going to do 2 single crochets across each row. This time we're going to go until we get 11 rows. So here's row 2, row 3, row 4, And yes, I do find it helpful to count out loud. Even if I was by myself, I'd probably still be counting out loud, because now I've just forgotten how many I did. Let's see, I think that was 1. Was that 3? We'll say it was, I think it was 4. You can also get little row counters, but for something this short, you can probably just keep track of it. I think this is 8. I'm going to count when I get to the end. So now you can actually see it starting to look a little bit like a cross. There at first it was just a lot of bars, but now we're starting to see the cross take shape. Right, I'm pretty sure this is row number 10. So I'm going to go ahead, stop, and see if I can count. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I'd say that's row 10. So we'll do one more, get us to 11. Alright, so there's row 11. This time, do not cut your yarn. We're going to go ahead and start doing the border. So when you're ready to do the border, this is done with pickets. Now if you don't know what a picket is, don't worry, they're really easy. With the right side of the cross facing you, that's this side. If you need to put a stitch marker on it so you remember, go ahead and do it. Don't worry about it at all. With my right side facing me, I'm going to chain 2. Alright? And then do a slip stitch in the second chain from the hook. That's 1, 2. Not a full single, just a little slip. There we go. And then we're going to work down the side. So we'll skip this row and work a slip stitch into this second row. Alright, it's a little hard to see on the corner. You'll see the next one a little better. So then we repeat. Chain 2, slip stitch in the chain, the second chain from the hook, which is the first chain stitch you did. And then, let's see, skip a row, do a slip stitch. And you see there's our little picket. It's just a little bump up, creates a nice little edge. So we'll continue doing this around. Chain 2, slip stitch in the second chain from the hook. Let's see, skip a row, slip stitch into the next row. Now you can start to see that the pattern is starting to make there. Slip stitch, skip a row, slip stitch to join it back down. Pickets are a lot of fun. They can give you a really neat edging. Skip a row, and then we'll go in, I think, right here as our slip stitch. Alright, so now we're ready to go across the bottom of the horizontal bar. Like I said, here's my end that I'm going to work in as I go. So we'll do 2 chains, slip stitch in the second one from the hook, the first one you did, and then as we're turning, let's see, when we went in there, we'll call that the first stitch, and then this is the second one, so we'll go into the second one, and I'm going to just hold that tail in with the yarn as I go, in with the body of the work, and we'll hold it in again. We'll do 2 slip stitches, or 2 chain stitches, sorry, then a slip stitch, and then we're going to, now that we're working across the bottom instead of across the side, we'll skip a single and then slip stitch into the following one. since we're doing slip stitches and not single crochet, so that tail's not getting woven in quite as well as it would if we were doing a single. So you may need to go back and weave it in a little more when you're done, or just clip it back. Depends on how long you left it in the first place. There's that one, skip one, and then this is into the very end of the row, and then turn around, chain 2, slip, oops, don't slip off your hook, and then this one, you gotta be a little more careful when you're turning around the rows. So I'm gonna go ahead and just do it in the very next stitch. I'm gonna work in both loops. And that way, so I have a little bump right there on the very end of my hook, of my bar. And then we'll keep going across the top. This is the easiest part because it's really easy to tell where you gotta put your hook in, because let's see, we'll skip this one, go into the next one. Instead of trying to figure out which your rows is, you just skip a stitch. Skip one, go into the next one. Skip one, go into the next one. So I'm going to finish doing this all the way around. When I'm done, I can go ahead and cut my yarn and weave in my ends, and then I will come back and show you how to make the little flower that goes in the center and how to put that on. Okay, so I finished doing the edging on my pink cross. You can see it turned out a little bigger than the white one here. I do tend to stitch fairly loose, so you know, whichever way yours turns out is perfectly fine. Now I'm going to show you how to make the center flower. Since this is pink, I'm going to do a white flower. So take your white yarn, or whatever color you're using. I'm going to start with a slip knot. Come on, you can do it. All right, there we go. All right, and you're going to chain 1. Okay, that's your center of your flower right there. Now to make the petals, you're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then do a slip stitch in the center, which is our first chain here. Okay, that's 1. We're going to do that a total of 5 times. 3, 4, slip stitch in the center. You can always find it because of your slip knot right there. All right, so there's 2 petals. 2, 3, 4. That's a 3rd petal. That's our 4th petal. So we'll do 1 more. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great. Now you can see my center stitch here is awfully big, so I'm going to just pull on my slip knot and it tightens it right up. Okay, so then we'll finish off. Leave a fairly long end on this one because we'll need it to sew it onto our cross. Let's see. Oh, that should be enough. Finish that off nice and tight. Like I said, you can adjust it with your the tail from your slip knot, so you have a nice tight little flower. Okay. I am going to break out the yarn needle for this. I find it easiest to fold the yarn in half and just kind of wiggle it onto the needle. All right, so let's see. This is the right side. So just put your flower right there in the center. We're just going to tack it on real quick. Now see this tail, that's from our slipknot. Cut it a little bit closer and then it'll just hide right underneath our flower. So just a few little loose stitches. You might want to do it, depending on what you're using for, you might want to sew it on a little firmer, a little looser, just depending on whatever you're going to end up using this for. For me, yeah, that should be plenty secure. So then we'll just knot it off here in the back. I always do a double knot. I'm paranoid about them coming undone. Trim that a little bit. Well, we'll weave it in and then we'll trim it. Just keep going around the same way we sewed it on. That'll be enough. That's why I love these little clippers. They're so easy getting real close up to your work. All right, so we're almost done. I want to do one more thing. So the last step for our Easter cross is to put the little French knot right in the center of the flower. So I'm going back to the pink I was using for the main part. I'm going to come up from the back as close to the center of the flower as we can. I've tied a little knot on the end of this yarn, but if you pull too hard, it will come all the way through. So just when you feel that gentle pressure, go ahead and stop. Now we're going to make a French knot. So starting from where the thread comes out of the middle of the flower, I'm going to wrap it around your needle twice. We'll do twice. More times would make a little bit of a bigger knot. Then turn your needle right back down. Now typically you do go back in the same hole. I usually go just a little off to the side. Gives you a little extra protection from pulling through. Okay, so use one finger to hold that knot there near the bottom. Pull through gently. And that's how you make a French knot. Then on the back, I'll just sew this in. I'll probably go through the knot. This is the same strand I've been working with. I'll probably go through the knot there, make sure that's nice and secure, and then tie off my ends. And then I'm done. And I've got a cute little pink and white Easter cross. Like I said, it's a little bigger than this one here. That's fine. So make as many of these as you like. Like I said, they'd be great for appliquing onto maybe a Bible cover, or I could see some cute little hair bows made out of this, or put a ribbon on the bottom, use it as a bookmark. The possibilities are endless. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. You can find all the supplies for this project at maggiescrochet.com. Thanks for watching.
Draw up a loop, draw through 2, draw through 1. Yarn over, or if you accidentally drop it, those loops won't fall off your hook. So now I'm going to continue on, skip that one, pick up this one, skip,